Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's going on? Happy Monday to everyone. The very first Monday after the NFL draft. And man, I had a blast over the weekend, man. NFL draft, watching the draft, covering the draft, debating the draft, researching the draft, everything that comes with it. You know, if you're a fan of the NFL, I don't see how you cannot like the draft, man. Don't see how you cannot like the draft. And I said this the other day, but NBA, y'all just need to take the night off on that Thursday for your playoffs when the NFL do that first night of the draft because they just take all the coverage, they dwarf you, you know. So just go ahead and concede to the NFL and just don't schedule no games in that day. But how we doing, man? How everybody feeling? How's it going down? What's going on? Yeah. So let's get straight to the business, man. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, is there already bad blood in Atlanta between Kirk Cousins and the Dirty Birds? Is there already bad blood? Is there already a little friction? You know, are they already on totally different wavelengths because of the Michael Penix draft pick? You know, someone will come in and talk about that and discuss that. We also have a poll up. Please take time out to participate in the poll that we have up as well. The poll says, does Kirk Cousins have the right to feel some kind of way about the Falcons drafting Michael Penix? Does he have the right? So please make sure you do participate in that poll. So far, I'm reading the poll. 33% of you says yes, Kirk Cousins does have the right to feel some kind of way. 67% of you say no, he does not have the right. So please participate in the poll. I'm interested to hear your thoughts and you know, and everybody's views. Does he have the right to feel some kind of way? Now, as we all know, when we did the draft show, myself, Steve, with myself and both Steves, I guess I should say, I was on the panel with both Steves. There was that news that broke during the draft, you know, from Kirk Cousins representatives that when we drafted Michael Penix Jr., Kirk was caught off guard. You know, I'm going to actually read a quote from Kirk Cousins' agent. And this was like right out. This was all going on during the draft. You know, this is during the draft. So typical Falcons, you know, to have disarray going on and some kind of confusion during the draft. That's the total Falcons way. But I'm going to read the statement from his agent, and his agent name is Mike McCartney. Mr. McCartney says, yes, it was a big surprise. We had no idea this was coming. The truth is the whole league had no idea this was coming. We got no heads up. Kirk got a call from the Falcons when they were on the clock. That was the first we heard. It never came up in any conversation. End of quote. So he's basically saying, man, the Falcons, they done brought us in here and, you know, we done signed our deal and Kirk is on his promo run. You know, because, you know, Falcons got Kirk on a promo run. He doing this promo run and he's at the Braves game throwing out the first pitch. He's at the Atlanta United game. He's doing the bankhead bounce with Big Low. He's shaking hands and kissing babies all across Atlanta. This is our promo run. Welcome to the A Kirk. And just weeks later, y'all still is thunder from him. You go draft a young quarterback at number 8. How you expect us to feel, Falcons? Yeah, we get it. You know, my guy's older. He's aging. He'll be 36. But the first round, you didn't even give my guy 1 year to play before you pull this stunt on us. The top 8 pick. That's telling us, Atlanta, you trying to play this guy as soon as you can. So yeah, we feel some kind of way. Now, some may say, you know what, Kurt, I dig it, but did y'all have to put that out during the draft? Y'all stepping on Michael Penix toes. You know, this is supposed to be once in a lifetime moment for the young kid, and he gets his name called, and then he gets back to his seat. And he's trending and not trending solely because it was a surprise draft pick, but because of the incumbent quarterback and his agent just put out a statement. So y'all stepping on his toes. Now, there's another part of the conversation or other side of the conversation to say, hey, you know what? The Falcons stepped on Kirk Cousins' toes. So it just depends on what angle you're going with. So I really want y'all to tell me, does Kirk have a right to feel some kind of way? Kirk's personality, from what I gathered in the research I've done on him, he's kind of like the Matt Ryan type. You know, he's really not gonna shake a lot of tables. You know, company guy. You know, for lack of better words. But at the same time, you know, the man has pride. He has an ego. He has feelings. Is there already bad blood and flowery branch? What kind of trickle-down effect is this going to have in the quarterback room? Now, I will say this. Let me say this, because I want to put all the cards on the table. Michael Penix did say Kirk reached out to him. They had a good conversation, and he's looking forward to working with Kirk Cousins. Now, he would not. They asked him, what did Kirk tell you? He said, you know what? I'm going to keep that between me and Kirk, but we had a good conversation. Now, will it end there, or is this gonna do anything to the quarterback room? Will this affect the team in any kind of way? You know, is there some bad blood already there between the Falcons and Kirk Cousins? I'm very interested to hear you guys' thoughts. Do y'all think there is any bad blood there, or will Kirk just suck it up and go out there and do what he do? You know, so let's check in with the comment section real quick. Mills in 1967 in the building. What's going on, Mills? How you doing, bro? What's popping? Also, y'all do participate in the poll, and if you're not already following us Atlanta Bird Gang on Facebook, there's a link that's pinned to the top of the comment section. If you're not following us on Facebook, make sure you are following us on Facebook, man. That right now, that's where the majority of the content from Atlanta Bird Gang is coming from, our Facebook page. That's not saying that we're not going to do any more videos, but you know, if you want like constant updates from us right now, Facebook is going to give you most of those, you know, so follow us on Facebook. Even if you don't go on Facebook a lot, just go ahead and hit the follow button. That's a good way to show us some love here and help us out as well. We are also back active on Instagram. Yeah, we are back active on Instagram, man. We took a long pause from IG for no particular reason, but we back. You know, we back on Instagram. We're back active on Instagram. So follow us also on Instagram at Atlanta Bird Gang as well. And of course, we are here on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Twitter or X. You know, we also on X as well. And also, by the way, there was somebody on the last broadcast from Twitter that asked me to follow them back on Twitter. I gave them my word I would. As soon as I got off the broadcast, I went to try to follow you, but the way Twitter is set up, I could not see the comment from the Twitter feed. So if that person is happens to watch the video or is watching the video now, comment on one of my tweets. You can just at me, and that way I can just follow you right back. But you can comment in this thread also, this live. But if you don't mind, comment on one of my tweets, and that way I could just, follow you right back as well. But let's keep going. Demetrius in the building. What's up, Demetrius? What's going on? Our guy Millie Mills is in the building. What's popping, Millie? How we doing today, bro? Happy Monday to you. Our brother Eric Parker is in the building. What's popping, Eric? How we doing today, bro? DJ Gaming. What's happening, DJ? What's popping? Our guy Dom checking in as well. What's going on, Tyler? Let's get to the business. Let's go. Our brother Travis Preston is also in the building as well. Says, what's up? Big 478 in the building. Yeah. Y'all don't forget, drop them area codes now. Because y'all know we going to rep that 478 hard. So drop your area code. Let us know where you're watching us from, where you from, where you at, or even where you're trying to be. Says, Kirko needs to worry about healing that Achilles. Don't be scared of a little competition. So he said, hey, man, get well and let the competition flow. Competition is good. I can dig it. Our guy Philip Crawford in the building. What's going on, Philip? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Just Kirk has the contract, the money, and the coach's word that he's a starter. The coaches really don't have to explain anything. If he ball out, he don't have to worry. That's very true. Very true. And speaking of that, General Manager Terry Fontenot did come out and try to put out any fire that may that May is about to start. I forget his statement, but the paraphrase, he said, what's wrong with like a quarterback, sitting on the bench for 4 or 5 years. It was something like that. That was really trying to massage Kirk Cousins' ego, saying, hey, we signed you for 4 years, so we're planning on you being here 4 years, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all that's political talk. That's GM speak. I'm just being as real as I see it. Not saying Terry isn't being sincere, but I don't think he was being sincere. The way Kirk Cousins' contract is structured is essentially a 2-year contract, based on how they wrote the contract up, and also to take a guy in the first round at number 8. Hey, that's letting them know, like, we want to win now, but guess what? We are definitely looking at the future as well. You're 36 years old. Your guaranteed money is gone in 2 years. And enough said. So Terry trying to do his part, play the diplomatic role, keep his rookie feeling good and keep his veteran feeling good, So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. That's been the big news since Thursday night. All the major networks, all the blogs, all the blue checks on Twitter, that they still are talking about this draft pick. Still, I love it. I love it, man. I really do. I love it. We're in the news. Let's go. Maybe that'll actually be a motivating factor for Kirk Cousins and also the rest of the Falcons as well. So I really love it. DJ Game says Kirk shouldn't feel any type of way because I feel like everything was last minute. Plus, he getting paid and still started. Only thing he's going to suffer from is QB controversy if he plays bad. That's true. He's gonna you're not gonna be able to play consistently bad or mediocre football, Kirk, which I don't expect him to do. I really don't, unless he just falls totally off a cliff, which I don't see happening. As we know, we got some good skill position players that's already surrounding him. Drake, Bijan, Kyle, got a good offensive line. So I expect him to come out here and have a good bounce back year coming off injury, which I'm looking forward to. Millie Mill says, man, Kirk better shed the up and be happy. It Buddy got paid and he still started at age 36. Penix will replace you. It is what it is. That's true. You don't like it, quit or retire or something. So Miller say, hey, man, just do the job that we paying you to do. Our general manager, our head coach, of course, they're gonna, plant seeds for the future, which they did with Penix. That's a seed planted for the future. And I'm not mad at him for that either. I'm really not. Be honest with y'all, that is the first round draft pick from the Atlanta Falcons that I have actually liked and approved of from the jump in some years, man. It's been some years since I've been satisfied with the first round draft pick, so I'm hoping for the best. Got our brother Antonio Henderson in the building. What's going on, Antonio? How you feeling today, bro? Happy Monday to you. Marshall Watkins also in the building. How you doing today, Miss Watkins? Hope everything is going fantastic. I hope you had a good weekend. MW, the franchise player, says, what's good, Toddy? Hashtag rise up. Hashtag you. Rise up to you, too. As well, appreciate you coming through, MW. What's popping? Millie Mill says, "Old sensitive ass, hold him off. Don't let him take your job. You had to work for your job before. Now you got to work. That's true. You had to work to get it. You got to work to keep it." Hey man, that's an excellent point. Excellent point. Um, and Tony Henderson says, "Don't see how he could have an issue with Penix, already knowing he's the starter. Man, already been paid $50 million up front, and has not proven not a damn thing yet. We're even sure if he's going to be ready." Great comment. I'm hoping that he's ready for the regular season. He should be. Um, I know when he spoke about the injury, I think he said he can drop back pretty good. Lateral movement is the problem. What are we in? What's today? 29. So we're in May now, June, July, August. So he has about 4 months. So he should be ready. He should be ready. He got world class doctors. Got 4 more months. He should be ready. If he isn't, now I'm gonna be honest. Even though we drafted Penix, if he isn't ready to play week 1, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have a problem with that, because that is when that money comes to play. Like 100 million, 45 million a year, and you ain't ready to play week 1. Like, okay, y'all temper with your medicals, and y'all you still ain't ready. Like, come on, somebody dropped the ball somewhere in there. Got my bro 8 Towns Finals in the building. Shout out to you, 8 Town. What's going on, pimp? Says Kirk is fine, bro. All right, so he says there's nothing to it. Says fine. 8 Town Finals also says he's not in his feelings. This is all overblown. So 8 Town Finals is saying he's fine. He's not in his feelings. So he's saying this is a media thing. It is being overblown. So I want to ask the chat. Do y'all agree with 8 Town Finals? Do you think this is just being overblown by the media? Do you think Kirk is fine, or do y'all think, based on Kirk's people speaking out on Thursday night during the draft, or do y'all think there probably is something there with Kirk? I'm interested to hear y'all thoughts. Antonio says Kirk is going to teach him the ropes and everything will be fine. That's what I'm hoping for as well, bro. And you know what? That's some of what that 100 million is paying for too. Some of that 100 million, of course, you were paying for him to play and hopefully play very, very well. But some of that contract you're paying for the mentorship. You're paying him to show the young puppy. I don't know why, but I like calling young players young puppies. But you're showing that you're paying for him to show the young puppy, hey man, this is how you become a pro. This is how you survive in the NFL as a starting quarterback, 13, 14, 15 seasons. This is how you keep your nose clean. This is how you handle the huddle. This is how you handle the locker room. When Kyle Pitts comes in the huddle and he's cussing you out because he ain't getting the targets he wants. Okay, this is how you handle this. This is how you handle blitz packages that were not in your pregame meetings all week. When the defense has shown you something totally different that you didn't have on film, or the offensive coordinator didn't prepare you for. So that 100 mil is paying for that as well. So that's all encompassed in that contract also, in my opinion. Antonio Henderson is tired of you trolling, bro. What I'm trolling about, bro? I probably was, but you gotta refresh my memory, man. Y'all know me. A lot of times I read the comments later after I said something. 8 Times Finance says this what the Packers always did, hence 2 straight regime transitions from Favre to Rodgers to Love. That's very, very true. Very true. And the Packers did it. You used the word transitions, and they made the transition look very good. Even though, as we all know now, there was a little friction behind the scenes. And that's what I mean too. Like, because like these guys are quarterbacks, man. And if you've been a starting quarterback in the NFL for an extended period of time, you're kind of used to getting your way because you are the quarterback. You know what I mean? Can't nobody hit you in practice. You know what I mean? You got this jersey on that separates you from everybody else. They barely can hit you in the game nowadays. So you're kind of used to having your way. So a lot of times your ego will come into play and play a big part in how you respond to certain things. A-Time says Kirk will be great for Michael Penix and will keep Kirk highly motivated. I'm hoping so. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and how it affected him, now we'll say this: Tom Brady too, because we know Brady did not like Bill Belichick drafting Jimmy G. You know that contributed to blowing up. Maybe I shouldn't say blow up. I take that back, YouTube. That contributed to the Patriots being dismantled probably earlier than they should have been. You know, because that kind of crushed the relationship, I think, between Brady and Belichick. You know, but the point I was trying to make is when they drafted Jimmy G, that motivated Brady. Not that you got to motivate Tom Brady any more than he already be motivated. And as Falcons fans, we definitely know that, unfortunately. But it motivated Brady. Man, Brady came out them next 2 years. Okay, y'all want to draft a quarterback? And y'all got me, the daughter, the GOAT, and y'all drafting. Bill, you really drafting quarterbacks? All right, I'm about to show you something, bro. About to show you something. And Brady came, and Brady always been a baller, but he came out, he elevated his game those next couple seasons following that. You know, like this dude ain't finna never see the field. Same thing with A-Rod. You know, A-Rod came. Oh, you drafted Jordan Love. All right, I'm already balling, but now I'm just finna come back and have back-to-back MVP seasons and let you know, like, hey, this guy's not gonna see this field no time soon. I'm gonna make it where this guy gonna be either off his rookie contract or damn near off his rookie contract before y'all have an opportunity to play him. You know, so the competitive nature, the competitive drive, it drove. I think that drove those highly competitive players, Brady, Rodgers, and motivated them to elevate their game. And I'm hoping we get that out of Kirk Cousins. I hope that drive him to elevate his game as well. You know, so time shall tell. Time will tell. Time definitely will tell. Antonio says Kirk should fire his agent. Banging on his agent. Mills in 1967 says should not matter if we drafted a quarterback in the first or not. He knew we were getting one sooner or later. That's true. What doesn't matter? He would be all right. Good point. Very good point. Marina in the building. What's going on, Marina? Happy Monday to you. It says Cousins was never the long-term answer. I agree. He can only ensure we win the South. History shows he is not a playoff quarterback. Whether this year or next year, we were getting a quarterback, period. That I agree with. I totally agree with that. Like you say, hey, man, 36 years old, Achilles, you know, it was time to get that quarterback. And it's been like, Matt Ryan was the last time we drafted one in the first round, right? 2008, and it's 2024 now. So approaching 20 years. So it was certainly time. Antonio says it's his last guaranteed contract anyway. That's true. Unless he just finds a founding youth that we've never seen before. Shout out to the I-Test also with Super Chat. Appreciate that. As always, John in the I-Test, appreciate the support with the Super Chat, and also always showing a lot of love to the channel. Says music emoji, that's life, that's what the people say. What song is that also, John, as well? And also, once again, shout out to the I-Test. Make sure that if you're not subscribed to the I-Test here on YouTube, make sure you do subscribe to the I-Test. Run up the subs, run up the likes, run up the shares. I was actually on their panel last night, and we were pretty much talking about the same thing. For the very most part, Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix, Atlanta Falcons, you know, it was an excellent show. So if you guys missed it, go back and watch it. You know, go back and watch that show. It was an excellent show last night. Again, thank you very much, John. False Start Falcon says, what's good? What's happening, False Start? What's going on? This move is ensuring that Terry Fontenot and Raheem get a long runway. Kirk got his money. They trying to get theirs. Hey, I can dig it, man. I can dig it. So you pretty much saying, hey, Kirk, you got your money, and these guys trying to get a second contract for more money, you know, from that billionaire in Buckhead. You know, everybody trying to get paid. I can dig it. Marina says, since we got him, that's all I've been hearing from the fan base. Now we got to win the South. Nobody has said yes. Now we got to win the Super Bowl. Now that we got Penix, it's an issue. doesn't make sense. And Marina, you know how our fan base is. There's gonna always be some division. There's also always going to be some varying opinions on should we do this, should we not do this, and that's just really been the nature of this fan base for I'm not gonna say forever, but for some years now, and I think the one way to kind of quelch that is the Falcons really got to start back winning. Winning cures it all. Cures it all, as Uncle Steve always says. So I do feel confident starting this season in 2024. We will get back to winning. It's been a minute since we had a win the season, unfortunately. Mills says, I don't think it's a big deal like the media's putting it. Like Nick Saban used to say, don't listen to the rat poison. Shout out to Nick Saban. I seen Nick Saban on something talking football recently. It might have been one of those post-draft shows. Well, it might have been during the draft, but I did see him. It's crazy because Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, they have such different personalities when they're not in the element of coaching. It's way different personalities. Especially Bill Belichick, he becomes like a real likable guy. You hear him in them post-game press conferences, he kind of like an asshole. But if we had 6 Super Bowls, we might be the same way. I got Slim Dollar in the building. What's going on, Slim? Because I don't think this is going to affect the team, but I also don't think it's Kirk Cousins' job to train Penix either. That's the Falcons organization job to train him, not Kirk's. You know what? I do agree. I forgot which quarterback said is not my job to mentor somebody. Which quarterback said that? Let me see if I can think. Who said that's not my job? He caught a lot of blowback in the media. I cannot think. Y'all help me out in the chat. Which quarterback was saying it's not my job to mentor somebody? I forget who it was, but I do agree. And at the same time, I firmly believe you can be a mentor to a younger player indirectly. Somebody can mentor you just by you watching their moves. Like I say, you watch how he works in practice. You watch how he adjusts to maybe defenses he has not seen. Watch how he adjusts to players who get upset that they're not getting the targets that they're supposed to get. Watch how he moves in teams meetings, things of that nature. So a player, in my opinion, a player doesn't necessarily have to take you under their wing and call you twice a week, stay late with you after meetings to be your mentor. Somebody can mentor you just by you sitting back, watching and observing how they move. So and I think Penix Jr. will be smart enough to allow Kirk Cousins to be his mentor, whether that be intentionally or non-intentionally. David starts in the middle. What's up, David? Says Cousins has made nearly $300 million for one player. Well, let's ring the bell for that. Kirk Cousins getting that bag. Big money, Kirk. Oh, that reminds me of that old Big Timer song, Big Money Heavyweight. Kirk is definitely a big money heavyweight. But Davis says Cousins has made nearly $300 million for one playoff win. We gave him $100 million guaranteed coming off an Achilles tear. He needs to shut up and go play. I don't care if he feels some kind of way. I could dig that also. And I think a lot of people feel that way too. Hey, man, just do your job, bro. Do your job. You'll get over it. You'll get over it. Soon as you pull up your banking app and you log in, you will get over it. You will definitely get over it at that point. Miller Mills says Kirk told him, I'll show you whatever you want to know, especially now that I know I'm only here for 2 years anyway. Let's ring the bell for that. Because I firmly believe Kirk won't be here any more than 2 years, period. Let's see. We got our guy 95 North Falcons in the building. What's going on, Berto? Y'all make sure y'all check out my guy Berto here on YouTube and as well on Bleacher Report as well. If you're not already subscribed to him here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe right now. Run up the comments, run up the likes, run up the shares, and check him out on the Bleacher Report app as well. always putting out excellent content. Says Kirk should embrace this. In 2015, RG3 was first overall pick. Commanders drafted Kirk in the same draft year. Kirk should know how to embrace the situation. I totally agree. As you just mentioned, he's already been through this before. And as a professional, he should know the ropes. He should know the transition process of the NFL. He was once at that time, like Berto just mentioned, the young pup, coming in through the same draft. Similar situation with RG3, So he should know how this goes. You've had a long career, Kirk, thus far. You still got more chapters in your book to write. As somebody else mentioned, you made a lot of money. So now you're at that point where your career is starting to wind down, 36 years old. And you should know it was inevitable that the Falcons were going to draft a quarterback sooner than later. Now, I shouldn't say probably, it obviously blindsided you that it came in the first round, because that lets you know, like, they are serious about this guy playing sooner than later. But at the same time, be a stand-up guy. Be the professional that you've always been. I know a lot of people have questions about how you played in the playoffs, but I never heard anybody like question him being a professional. So be a professional, and in some ways try to take the guy under your wing. Don't brush him off. Don't make this a bigger issue than it should be. Don't let it affect the locker room. Don't let it affect the team. And that's pretty much what Berto is seeing here in this comment. Excellent comment. And again, make sure to follow 95 North Falcons Talk Show here on YouTube. Thank you very much, Berto. I do appreciate you always, brother. Thanks a lot. Let's see here. David Starr says, here's an idea. You don't like the kid being drafted, play well enough to keep him on the sideline. That's one way to keep him on the bench. Play well enough to keep him on the sideline. And the thing about it, both these guys are competitors, man. I don't care. In my opinion, I really don't care how much natural talent you have. In order to get to this level of playing in the NFL, there is a competitive fire that all these guys have, regardless of position. Even that kicker. You're not the only kicker in high school. So there's a lot of competitive fire in these guys in order to make it to the NFL. So that competitive drive or that competitive fire should give Kirk Cousins the drive, to play well enough. Hey, I'm going to keep you on that sideline, buddy. Hey, stand back. Also, on the flip side, Michael Penix Jr., he's obviously a competitor. He's bounced back from injuries upon injuries, and propelled himself to be a top 8 NFL pick on a team that had just given a quarterback a brand new contract, just a couple months ago. So he's going to be coming in with that young competitive fire also. And I think that's going to be a good thing for the organization. And I'm glad you made this comment, because our former general manager, Thomas Dimitroff, he was just recently, I think today, on the Jim Rome show. And he made a comment about this competitive drive from Michael Penix. He pretty much said, listen, and I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not trying to misquote Thomas. But to paraphrase, he said, you know what, Kirk? You're going to have to look over your shoulder. Because Michael Penix isn't coming to Atlanta to sit on the bench for the duration of the 4-year deal you have on paper. He's going to try to get in, and he's going to try to take that mantle from you sooner than later, because that's how competitors are. In fact, y'all, let's take a little bit of time and listen to what Thomas Dimitroff said on the Jim Rome show, which I think aired earlier today. Let's listen to it together.
I think he needs to be every day of his life competing for his job, because that is life in the NFL. And I think Kirk Cousins is a great guy. He's a great competitor. And Michael Penix is coming in not to be delaying this 5 years. He's not looking to wait for 5 years to play. He's a competitor. He's also 24 years old. So his mind is thinking, okay, maybe let's just get rolling on this. So I think both of these quarterbacks are going to be competing heavily to do what they're doing. Of course, when you pay a lot of money to Kirk Cousins, you're expecting, and this was one of the things that I was trying to deduce. I don't want to speak for Arthur Blank and the Falcons because that's not my place. But as we've talked before, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking this is an opportunity to win now with Kirk Cousins. And they're not expecting to win a handful of games. They're expecting to take this very far into the playoffs, potentially make a run at the Super Bowl. So there are big expectations to win now for this fan base that Arthur Blank knows is very, very important. He is one of the most competitive owners out there. He is about giving the fan base and the organization as much as they can financially to win and win now. That's where it becomes, it becomes a debate, of course, in Atlanta.
And again, that is former general manager Thomas Dimitroff, was general manager for the Falcons for what 13 years, I think he was, very long time general manager. And I've grown to really like and appreciate when Dimitroff comes on and gives his opinion and observation on the Atlanta Falcons, what they're doing currently. And that's him, talking about the quarterback situation, talking about Kirk Cousins, talking about Michael Penix. Michael Penix is going to come in. He's going to try to play as soon as he can. Kirk Cousins is a good guy. He's a stand-up guy. So that's his, professional opinion, being that he did once upon a time hold that seat in Flowery. Well, have the big office in Flowery Branch as the former general manager. And I always like to hear him talk and, give his opinion as well. Also, shout out to the eye test also again for the super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, John, from the eye test. And again, make sure that you do follow the eye test here on YouTube as well. They normally come on every Wednesday at 10 p.m. And every now and then they will have a surprise show like last night. Says, did Algier have a tud? I hope I said it right, John. When these Falcons drafted Bijan, then Kirk as well as the fans need to let that go and get well. Good point, because Tyler Algier was kind of in a similar situation. He got drafted. I think Algier was a 5th round draft pick, if I remember correctly. But needless to say, he came in and he set a Falcons rookie rushing record that was established for decades. And he did not even start every game. He was, I think, inactive the first game. But needless to say, he came in and he set a rookie rushing record. And we still, when they drafted Bijan Robinson at coincidentally number 8 in our last year's NFL draft, and Bijan was the day one starter. And like you say, the Tyler Allgeier's team started putting out reports or started making statements during the draft, like, I'm stunned that you drafted Bijan. No, Tyler put his head down. He just kept going to work. So that's a great analogy to look at, which I didn't even think about until now. And with Tyler no longer being a starter, you can still see it last year. When he came in the game, he went pound, he went dragging his feet. He was coming, hey, man, I'm still going to come here. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me. There's nothing going to change about that. Antoine Wartown TV says, what's up, Falcons fan? What's going on, Antoine? How we doing today, bro? What's popping? We got Smitty Sports Machine in the middle. What's happening, Smitty? What's going on, brother? Says, what up, QB Whisperer? Kirk Cousins needs to do his job and shut the hell up. Penix will be the starter midway through the 2025 season. Let's ring the bell for that. So Smitty said he got by a year and a half to do his thing, and Penix will take over midway through next season. And I think that is a good guesstimate. Personally, I don't see Kirk being here past 2 years. And like Smitty said, midway through the 2025 season, that'll give the Falcons an opportunity to let him sit one full year, let him sit for a half a year, and maybe week 8, 9, 10, somewhere along that line, they hand him the keys to the car. Here you go, kid. And after the 2025 season, they only owe Kirk Cousins $10 million of guaranteed money. In the NFL nowadays, when you're talking about a quarterback contract, that is peanuts. That's nothing when you're talking about NFL money for a quarterback. So he'll only be owed $10 million. And I've said this time and time again, now that this has become a big conversation, Kirk Cousins has to be playing the best football of his life. He has to be playing amazing football. Falcons probably got to be winning a Super Bowl or in a Super Bowl in order for him to make it past the first 2 years of his deal. His deal is structured intentionally for the Falcons to get off his contract after 2 years. It's done intentionally that way, based on how the contract is structured. He is pretty much getting all his money the first 2 years. And as a good bit of us already know in the NFL, it's the guaranteed money. You know, the guaranteed money. Once that guaranteed money is gone, you pretty much just got a dummy contract. And going back a little bit, that's a lot of the reasons that Julio Jones put up such a big fuss. He never said it, I don't think, straightforward, but his guaranteed money was exhausted, and he still was putting up top 3 wide receivers numbers. So Julio was like, hey, we got to go back to the table and fix this. So just to repeat once again, 2 years, Kirk Cousins he won't be on this team. He probably has to win a Super Bowl in order to continue to be on this team. Because his cap hits past the 2020, the first 2 years of his deal. The third year of his deal is $57 million. The fourth year of his deal is $57 million. The Falcons won't be able to afford that. They won't be able to afford that. So unless he wins a Super Bowl and the Falcons are like, F it, you won a Super Bowl, so we're going to keep you here, he's gone. And I think Kirk Cousins knows that as well. And also shout out to Smitty. And if you're not already following Smitty also on YouTube, make sure, which I'm sure pretty much most of us are, make sure you do follow my guy on YouTube. Run up the likes, run up the comments, run up the shares as well. And JJ Era says here, I think Kirk is good. He's getting his bag regardless. Yeah, he getting that money. He getting that big money without a doubt. Marshall Watkins says media is taking this too far. I think Kirk is okay, and I think Penix is okay. So Marshall's saying, like, look, this is something that's just probably overblown by the media. It gives them something to talk about, gives you guys something to talk about here on YouTube, and you're probably right about that as well. You're probably absolutely right about that. And I'm sure it's still going to be probably a lingering story, especially once these camps start, training camp starts, they're going to be putting mics in these guys' face. I do kind of wish though, that Kirk Cousins agent would have just said no comment when asked about that on Thursday. I think it was a little tacky to put it out during the draft. And Kirk Cousins' agent probably think it was a little tacky for the Falcons to draft him. But it's a business at the end of the day. Now, if they wanted to come out and make this known today on Monday after the draft, after Michael Penix has had a time to have his moment in the sun, I'm okay with it. But I do think it was a little bit tacky to do it during the draft. And I know Roddy White spoke out about that also on his Twitter as well. Y'all know Roddy has never been the type to bite his tongue. He put out a tweet, and he kind of echoed the same sentiment. Let's take a look and see what Roddy had to say about that as well. So let's pull it up, and let's look at what Roddy White had to say about it also. Roddy in his tweet says, met Michael Penix Jr. today, was a clean, cool dude, going to be great for us in the city. Why we got to hear this nonsense about Kirk being blindsided? RG3 was blindsided, and that's what Berto said a moment ago. He brought up the same point Roddy brought up. We've been picking in the top 10 the last 5 seasons because we didn't get a quarterback when Matt was about done. Lesson learned. And that's where I'm at too. I'm exactly where Roddy White is at about us drafting Michael Penix Jr. Roddy said, look, we rode the Matt Ryan train too long and assumed that he would play at a certain level longer than he did. When that age caught up with Matt Ryan, he started to decline quicker than the Falcons thought he would, and probably quicker than a lot of Falcons fans thought he would. And the Falcons never went and got a potential successor for Matt in the draft. And when it was time to move on from Matt, for lack of better words, we got caught with our pants down. We had nobody behind him that we was grooming. Nobody. So now we're scrambling with very little money, may I add, to go find a Matt Ryan replacement, Marcus Mariota. Then you also draft a guy in the third round, Desmond Ridder. Neither guy worked out. In fact, we failed terribly with both guys. Desmond Ridder isn't even on this team anymore, or Mariota for that matter. And I think that's what Roddy is saying here. Look, we learned a lesson. We learned a lesson with Matt Ryan. So we're trying to do it differently in this draft. And the thing with Penix fell right in the Falcons' lap. And some of the reasons I have no problem with drafting Penix, again, he fell right in our lap. There was no trading up, losing a lot of valuable cap equity, having to spend 3 first-rounders and some middle-round picks to trade up and get Michael Penix. He fell right there in your lap. And also, this is a guy who the front office evaluated very extensively. They did their homework on him. Right before the draft, as we all know, Arthur Blank put all his guys on that private Home Depot jet, and they held a private workout with Penix. One last time before the draft. Let's look at him one more time. The front note probably told Raheem Morris, hey, man, let's look at it one more time. One more time. Let's sit down and talk to him one more time. Let's pick his brains one more time. Let's throw these tough questions at him one more time. Let's see how he responds to it. Let's throw him some NFL verbiage at him. He's mastered that college verbiage. But you know what, Zach Robinson, you come too. Hop on this plane with us too. Throw some NFL verbiage at him. Let's see how much this kid knows. And if we walk away and we feel like, you know what, that's our guy. That's our guy. If he falls to us, we're going to take that guy. That's some of the reason I have absolutely no problems with this. They did their research. He fell right in their lap. You didn't have to trade it. You did not have to trade and give up any draft equity to get your guy. And you also have the luxury and the privilege, as Smitty said, to let him sit behind a veteran for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, and learn. I think in today's NFL, Patrick Mahomes is like the blueprint. Everybody wants the next Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes has said on more than one time, hey, it benefited me to sit a year. It benefited me to sit a year. Patrick Mahomes has went on record plenty of times saying that it made me a better NFL player because I sat down a year. I was drafted at 10. Penix drafted at 8. But it did me a lot of good to sit down behind Alex Smith and learn the game. Patrick Mahomes also said, I think it was around his second or third year in the league, like, I'm just learning how to read defenses. I'm just figuring out how to read a defense. So when you see all these first rounders recently, when you see the Zach Wilsons of the league, the Trey Lances of the league, the Mac Joneses of the league, and a guy that a lot of us Falcons fans campaign for, the Justin Fields of the league. When you see these guys playing early as rookies, and you see them struggling and struggling and struggling, they didn't sit down. They were forced in the fire early, had to play, had to make plays, didn't get an opportunity to learn. And you were seeing the struggle. Even a guy like Trevor Lawrence, and he was supposedly one of the highest rated quarterbacks ever coming out of college. And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence has been bad, but I don't think Trevor Lawrence has really quite lived up to his expectations as of yet. But he had to play from year one. He did not get an opportunity to sit down, to learn a game, to soak up the game from somebody in front of him. He didn't get a chance to mentally prepare himself for what's coming. So that's why I love the idea of taking Penix at 8, allowing him to sit down, learn. There's no rush. Absolutely no rush. Sit down, learn the game. Bryce Young, struggling. Had to do it all from day one, struggling. And you can look in Bryce Young's face sometimes and just see the struggle there. Even Desmond Ridder, even though he was a 3rd-round pick, you could look in Desmond Ridder's face sometimes and tell, like, his body language was saying, I'm not ready for this yet. I need to be on the bench. I'm not ready. Shout out to the Coach's Corner also for the super chat. Appreciate that very much, Coach. And y'all make sure y'all do subscribe to the Coach's Corner here on YouTube as well. Coach will be kicking off his YouTube channel very soon, so make sure that you all subscribe once he does get everything rocking. Says, I don't know if the honeymoon is over, but I'm over it already and just want the season to start. I hope people keep that same energy. I'm with you, Coach. I can't wait. And that's why, I always say when I talk about the draft, whenever the draft gets here, I know football is on the horizon, man. I know I know the season about to start soon. When the weather starts to get into 85, 90-degree weather, football is on the way. High school football is on the way. College football is on the way. NFL football is on the way. And I'm looking forward to it. This is the first time, y'all, in a lot of years that I have felt confident about the Falcons going into a season, that I have felt confident about the direction of the team. First time in a while. And y'all who have been watching me for since I've been doing videos on YouTube or just the ones, back from our Facebook group, y'all know me. I'm not shy about giving the Falcons criticism. Y'all know that. There are a lot of y'all who've told me, man, you over criticizing the team, bro. We get it, but push the brakes a little bit, man. Give him a shot. Give him a chance. Give Ridder a chance, man. He's only started 5 games. Give him a chance. So y'all know I'm not shy on my criticism. But also, when I feel like they're doing things correctly, when I feel like a player deserves his credit or coach deserves his credit, their props, I'm going to shower them their same props that I'm going to give them the same kind of energy in terms of giving them credit, giving them appreciation, throwing them their props as I would when I was upset that we took a tight end at 4. I was upset that Desmond Ridder was playing bad. So this is the first time, y'all, in years that I felt confident going into a season, that I felt confident about what they did in the draft. I'm not mad about the Penix draft pick. I don't care that they gave Kirk Cousins $100 million. I felt like he got what he's supposed to get based on what he's done the last 5 years. If you want a quality quarterback, you got to pay for it. If you want a quality pass rusher, you got to pay for it. You want a quality guard, you're going to have to pay for it. Shout out to Chris Lindstrom. But no matter the position, you're gonna have to pay. You got to pay the piper if you want a quality proven player. Now, if you luck up, Houston Texans, if you luck up and you draft the right rookie, you put him in the right system with the right coaches, and he plays way better, way bigger than his contract, you won. But you know what? In a few years, you're gonna have to pay the piper. You're gonna have to pay the piper. And I mentioned Chris Listrom. Hey, we based on what he was doing, like he was underpaid like them last 2 years of his rookie deal. But he was on a rookie deal. That's just how I go. But I'm excited about the team, man. I'm excited about the moves we're making. I'm excited to see what Raheem Morris does. This is his first year coaching the team. I'm going to give him a fair chance, just like I gave Arthur Smith a fair chance. Now, when Arthur Smith got to the point where I lost confidence in him, all right, it's time for me to bang on you, Arthur Smith. It's time for me to turn on this camera, put these headphones on, get in front of this microphone, and bang on you. I done lost my confidence in you. But I'm going to give Raheem a fair chance. Gave Mike Smith a fair chance. Gave Jim Moore Jr. a fair chance. Rest in peace. Gave Dan Reeves a fair chance. I'm going to give him a fair chance. I'm not going to try to sink his ship before it leaves the dock. I feel confident in what they've done. I'm good in giving Kirk Cousins that money. I'm good in drafting Michael Penix. I feel good in the draft picks that they made after Michael Penix. Right after Michael Penix, they ran off about 4 or 5 defenders. So they're not ignoring the defense, but they had a script and they stuck to their script. There were reports that came out that Penix was the second quarterback on the Falcons board. It wasn't Drake May, wasn't James Daniels. It was Michael Penix. That was the second quarterback on that big board. Caleb, I think, was number 1 on everybody's board, But they got the guy. They got they got their number 2 quarterback and did not have to trade for him. I'm good with that. They did their research on it. This wasn't just some rash decision that they came up on draft day. I've been hearing that, and that's not true. Terry Fontenot has been letting everybody know what his plan was or what their plan was. Anytime they put a microphone in Fontenot's face this offseason, what was he telling us? What was he telling them? We are definitely going to add a quarterback. We're not done. He told everybody who would listen. This is after they signed Kirk Cousins. Terry told everybody who would listen, we are definitely going to add a quarterback to the quarterback room. Told everybody. Go do the Googles. Anybody who would listen, Terry told you we are definitely adding another quarterback. Private workout with Michael Penix Jr. And I remember when that was going on, people was like, oh, that's just a smoke screen. They're not serious. That's just a smoke screen. They're just trying to drive the price up. See, people like, see what the Falcons are trying to do. They're trying to drive the price up for Michael Penix, and that way they can get more in return when they trade back. That's what people were saying. But the obvious was there. Like they like, y'all crazy? Y'all think we finna get on this private jet and go see this boy again? And we not serious about drafting him? Or y'all lost your mind. But here we are. Shout out to Abe also for the super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much, Abe. Always showing love, supporting the channel, man. I do definitely do appreciate you. Says, what's good, Toddy? This is the best situation to develop a quarterback. Sirianni will be the best teacher for Michael, unlike Tannehill. I do agree. When you say to develop a quarterback, and I think that's a lot of the reasons that they got him 2 years early. so they can develop him. That's why they got him 2 years early. And that goes back to what I was just saying, like you're not throwing him into the fire right now. You got an opportunity to sit back and let this kid learn. You don't have to damage his confidence by putting him in before he's ready. NFL, another reason the quarterbacks make so much money, it's the toughest job to get a grasp of. It's hard as FUCK to be an NFL quarterback. It's hard. It's not easy. There's a lot to learn. Like when I be watching them quarterback shows and they be calling out them plays, I'll be like, boy, how do y'all remember that? How y'all remember that? When I was in high school, it was 33 power, 19 bootleg. These jokers be having plays that are like 3 sentences long. So it's difficult. That's a lot to learn in a short amount of time. You just have your draft the end of April. But damn near by July, hey, this quarterback need to be ready. There's a lot to learn. So if you can get this guy 16, 18, 20 months to learn your system, to learn the NFL, you're setting him up for success. Now, there's no guarantee that he will have the talent to become what we all hope he will. But like Abel is saying, is at least you're developing him properly. This is how they used to do it back in the old days, and we kind of got away with that. And I think the reason that teams got away from that is because the amount of money they started to have to pay the quarterbacks, they felt like they wanted to get more of their investment back. But as we are seeing, a lot of these quarterbacks who did sit down and learn for a year or more, you're seeing the results of it. You're also seeing the results of the quarterbacks who got rushed into the fire and they were not ready. Now they've been traded and now they're backups on other teams. And you still got fans saying, well, they should start and we should have drafted him or we should have signed him and traded him. For what? For what? They went and got a guy that they spent time researching and that they feel comfortable in getting. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. That's all I can ask as a fan. That you tried. You gave it your best honest shot. I'm good with that. I am good with that. Let's see, we got Baldhead Falcons fan. That's a hell of a name, bro. That's a hell of a name. Baldhead Falcons fan says people fail to realize Kirk didn't lose them playoff games by himself. His defense let up. He did his job in each playoff game. You know how it go, especially on social media. A lot of times the quarterback loses the game, and a lot of times the team will win the game. You know how that go. But I went and looked back at those playoff games too that Kirk Cousins and his teams lost. Kirk did not play bad in those games. There was probably one game where I said, okay, this was an underwhelming performance from Kirk Cousins. But the rest of I think 3 of them, one of those he didn't start. But the rest of them, he's played good football. He played good enough to win. Now, did he put up 400 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions? No. But he played good enough to win. So I see exactly where you're coming from when you do say that. We got our resident Baghead Aints fan in the building. Shout out to you, Pelicans. No, let me ring the bell for you coming through and showing love. Says, I like the pick for Atlanta at number 8, and I also like the QB for New Orleans at pick 150. Who that? I can respect it, man. I can definitely respect it. I tip my hat to you, man. Anytime you can tell your hated robbers that you do like their pick, that says a lot. And it says a whole lot, when the New Orleans fans are like, hey, bro, that's a good pick, dog. We got this old rivalry going on that's been here forever and is going to stay here forever. That's a good pick. I don't like the fact that we're going to have to face this guy the next 10, 12 years. Good pick. Shout out to you, Pelicans. Let's see what else we got in here. Ray Ellison in the building. What's going on, Ray? What's popping? What's going down? Install power in the building. What's popping? What's going on? What's happening? I got a Dixon Way in the building. Let's ring the bell for Larry at the Dixon Way. And y'all make sure that y'all do follow Larry and also his wife Shonda, who are the Dixon Way here on YouTube as well, and all over social media as well, not just YouTube. Since diligence is to combine interviews, you only do this if you wow about a 45-minute workout that change your entire draft. Eric Parker says Falcons pick up Kyle Pitts' 50 option as official. Okay, so they picked up Kyle Pitts' 50-year option. They made that official. I think they had until May the 2nd to do that. So they do pick up his 50-year option. So that is breaking news. Tony Henderson said, "Tidy, check your inbox." Says Penix talked to Cousins and Vic after he was drafted and have been talking daily since he was drafted. Okay, so that's more good news, So if that is correct, looks like they are on good terms. So definitely glad to hear that as well. And again, Kyle Pitts' 50-year option has been picked up. No surprise to anybody about that. They want to show that they did a good job in drafting Kyle Pitts, and they want to turn him into a premier tight end. And it looked like he was well on his way to doing that when we had Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. Another reason you go sign Kirk Cousins and try to get Pitts back on the right pathway. So, again, that's not any real breaking news to Falcons fans. It might be to other people who don't follow the Falcons, but I'm looking at a tweet from Phil Yates. The Falcons have picked up the 2025 50-year option on tight end Kyle Pitts per source. I think next down the pipeline of news for us will be the A.J. Terrell contract extension. I am sure they're going to extend A.J. Terrell. It's just a matter of how, they fit everything in. Shout out to also our guy, Greg from Greg Custom Kicks. It's my guy, Greg. Appreciate the support, man, always with the channel. Thank you very much. Y'all make sure to follow Greg on social media at Greg Custom Kicks for the flyest custom shoes you're going to find. I've showed y'all mine twice. My shoes I got from Greg that he did for me, they are fly as F-U-C-K. You know what I mean? I'm going to end up showing them again. But seriously though, y'all, he does excellent work. Check out his Instagram for other shoes in his portfolio of things that he has done. He's done shoes for the legendary Goody Mob. So that says it all right there. So holler at my guy. Get your custom kicks done. You will not regret it. He says, I don't understand why people are upset with the pick. We were one better QB from winning the division. We all know the definition of insanity, Toddy. You are so right, my brother. As Greg is saying, what we really lacked last year that could have took us from a 7-win team to probably a 11-win team, at least a 10-win team, quarterback play. Good quarterback play. And when you bring in a new head coach, they're going to want to allocate the available funds that they have at the salary cap to get the best possible quarterback that they can get. Gives them the best. Raheem Morris wants to get the best signal caller he can to give him the best opportunity to win games. Same for Terry Fontenot. And I was saying this on the eye test last night. Look, Terry has passed that phase of just getting mediocre, bridge quarterbacks. He's past that phase. He's past that phase of letting the rookie quarterback play, and hopefully you can develop him into a solidified starter. He's done that phase already. First 2 years of his tenure, like Arthur Blank, you got a free pass, bro. I'm not telling you to go out here and embarrass my franchise, embarrass my fans, but look, I understand you got a mulligan these 2 years. Terry has already been through that phase. So it's time to win some football games now. It's time to get a solidified, a legit quarterback with a proven track record who can come in here and get my first round picks the football. It's time for somebody who can throw Drake London the football. It's time for somebody to throw Kyle Pitts the football, And that's where we at. They didn't want to do that mediocre quarterback thing again. And let's be honest, man, us fans, we truly didn't want that either. We're making a big deal about the monetary dollar amount, but we didn't want to suffer through another year of bad quarterback play. We didn't really want that. We want the Falcons to win. We don't want to go through a 7th consecutive year of losing. We didn't really want that. I know I didn't really want that. I want them to spend some money. Go get a good quarterback. It's going to cost this. Okay, spend that check. Spend that check. Spend it. As the old saying goes, you can't take it with you when you're gone, so spend that check. Spend it. Go get me a quarterback who there you can at least have some confidence in. Yeah, you're not gonna find the next Patrick Mahomes sent out there in free agency. We all know that. We all know going out there and drafting the CJ Stroud that rarely ever is gonna happen again. But if I got quarterback A over here, who the last 5 years is averaging 4,500 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, free agent, yeah, go get him. Go get 2-year deal. Go get him. And go draft another quality quarterback behind him. Shout out, Greg. Got super chat coming in for Antonio Henderson. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for always supporting the channel, man. Definitely do appreciate you. It says, I sent you the link where Aminos has been talking to, I think he meant Penix. I think that's a typo. Penix has been talking to both Cousins and Vic, but been talking to Cousins daily. Check your inbox and it's in the comments. Yeah, and that's good news. That is good news that Penix and Kirk Cousins seem to be on the right path and already starting off with a very good relationship. And I also did it was in Penix's press conference where he mentioned that Vic reached out to him and that he's had a relationship with Vic also already, and Vic congratulated him. So that's excellent news. That's excellent news, man, that they're on the right page. And hopefully Kirk doesn't allow his ego to get the best of him. And he does take this guy under his wing. He does become a direct mentor to him. That would be a great thing. And like I said, this is our first year with Kirk Cousins. I don't know like his on camera personality like I know of Matt Ryan's, but he seems like that type. Like I said, a lot of people has criticized him about the money he's made with only one playoff win, but I hadn't heard anybody just call him an asshole or a bad teammate. I'm not hearing that at all. And also, Antonio, the link that he sent says Michael Penix Jr. says he and Kirk Cousins had a very good conversation after surprise draft move to Atlanta. So that is a good thing. That is definitely a good thing. We don't need a rocky relationship between those two, which would eventually ticker down on the team. We don't need that at all. Georgia, Texas boy in the building. What's up, Georgia, Texas boy? Says technically that $100 million will be 71.5 because Minnesota paid 28.5 in dead cap. Remember, many had to give Kansas City a deal before that Monday. I was not aware of that. I was not aware that Minnesota paid any money in dead cap. I was under the assumption that he came here as a free agent with clear books. So that is definitely news to me, Georgia, Texas boy. The Dixon Way says, I like the player because I said Penix in the middle of the college season on the Waffle House and was told heck no since he had too many massive injuries. I'm not giving Terry props for luck. So he said he just pretty much failed to Terry also. Sells a tidy clean this internet camera with one finger. I do. I really do. Hey, that's no lie. You're right about that. Let's ring the bell for you being spot on about that. Let's ring the bell for you. You damn right. Slim Dollar says, did Kirk Cousins get the Atlanta Falcons a hometown discount or anything? Then he shouldn't get mad. No, he didn't. He got all his money he could get. Then he shouldn't get mad because we holding on to the receipt. Penix Jr. is the fine print on the bottom of the receipt. You're right about that, man. Hey, we had to pay the piper to get him. So, hey man, don't bring no bad vibes into the locker room, bro. Please don't. Wallace Smith says, Todd, I love the Penix pick, and I saw this coming because if they didn't draft him with our 8th pick, he wasn't going to get past the Broncos. No, he wasn't, man. In reports again, there were 3 teams that were trying to move up into the top 10 of the draft to get Michael Penix. There were 3 teams, so he was a hot commodity, and that just goes sometimes the draft will go like the insiders, predict. Now sometimes it don't. I think this was a year for the first round. It didn't go like all these pundits told us it would go. You could say that Penix was like the 5th or 6th quarterback on the board, but he was the 2nd quarterback on the Falcons board. And the Falcons are really the only team that matter because that's to them. Wallace, not Wallace, but somebody, Slim Dollar said luck, but the way they're looking at it, like, we're fortunate. Our guy fell right in our lap. This is the 2nd quarterback on the board. He fell right in our lap. This is who we're going to take. And like I said, after they've done all that research on him, I'm good with the pick. I know it's not conventional. I know it's probably not what we're accustomed to seeing. Hey, but I'm good about it. I got King Atlanta's in there, better. What's going on, King Atlanta supporter? Says I'm hyped about the season. Me too. I was saying this earlier, King Atlanta, man. This is the most confident I've been about a Falcons team going into the year in quite some time. Demetrius says Penix arm talent is insane. Yes. Very, very insane, man. And that's another thing I like about it, man. He can really throw the ball. He can get outside the pocket if he needed to, but that's really not his forte. He likes to sit in that pocket and just pick you apart. And he got a cannon on it, too. He can throw that ball. Got a big old arm. Big arm. Dave in the building. Shout out to you, Dave. What's going on? Good evening, Tyler. Good evening to you, Dave. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, my friend. I remember keeping receipts. I'm going to remember all this slander. Bang on them when the time comes, Dave. Wallace says, and Toddy, they couldn't have taken that chance and not have a quarterback on board before the draft started because it wasn't going to be no guarantee that they would be able to get Penix with our 8th pick. Yeah, and drafting a quarterback, man, it's not as easy as us fans make it seem. There's a lot of moving parts that go into the draft. There's a lot of moving parts that go into free agency. So a lot of times, man, when your quarterback falls in your lap, hey, man, get him. Again, especially, and I think I said this the last broadcast, especially a new general manager. Terry is yet to draft his quarterback. I don't see Desmond Ridder as Terry's quarterback. To me, first rounders are your quarterback. I don't look at third rounders as your quarterback. There was circumstances with us acquiring Desmond Ridder. There were a lot of circumstances going on. No cap money, nobody in the quarterback room. You had to draft somebody. And the fact that they passed on quarterbacks in the first round that they were not hot on, which ended up being a good thing. Steelers took Kenny Pickett. See where that turned. So your guy fall in your lap, man. Go ahead and get him. I'm not finna come down on this team for stockpiling talent at the most important position. I'm not gonna do it. Especially me being the person that has been coming on these broadcasts complaining about them not drafting quarterbacks in the first round. That's been one of my most vocal complaints about the Falcons these last 10 years, that they haven't been taking quarterbacks. Been one of my most vocal complaints. When we did the draft show with Steve in 2021, we both were upset that they passed on quarterbacks at number 4. We both were upset. And it turns out so far that they made the right decision because the ones that they passed on are now backups on their second team. So thus far, the Falcons won as far as that goes with the quarterbacks they passed. But that's been one of my most vocal complaints. That they not drafting quarterbacks. So when they finally get their guy, I'm gonna give them a fair opportunity. And there's no guarantee Michael Penix is gonna be a great quarterback or even a very good quarterback. There is a chance he ends up being a bum. But you know what? At least they swung for the fences. I'm gonna give them credit for that. At least you swung for the fences. At least you tried. I can respect that part of it. You tried. New head coach, he wants to get his quarterback in here. This is the guy that I've looked at. The people that I hired to be my talent scouts have looked at, and we've all decided that this is our guy. I'm not mad at them for getting that. I'm not going to be mad at them for doing that. If it doesn't work out, if it ends up being a complete failure, okay, I'm going to reserve my criticism until then. But I'm not going to go into the new season, dumping on a team for stockpiling talent at the most important position. I'm not going to do it. News_sports, HBCU, EDU. What's going on? Says, welcome to ATL, Michael Penix. Outstanding pick at number 8 in the 2024 NFL Draft. Atlanta Falcons are going to win now with Kirk Cousins, and we will win going forward with Michael Penix Jr. Chestnut checkers. Let's ring the bell for that. I love that comment. 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 Millie Mill says AB wanted Penix as well, and if not, the owner cool with throwing out money, then who are we to complain? Exactly. It's not our money. I wish I had some of that AB money. I tell you, man. I wish I had some of the AB money, but you make a good point, man. That ain't my money. F it. It's his franchise. If he wanted Penix, who the F cares? For real. Franchises really don't give two F's about money. I could dig it, man. I'm with you on that. Russell Moore Jr. in the middle. What's going on, Russell? So somebody posed a question earlier today and said, what happens when Kirk takes a day off for rest in the summer and Michael Penix Jr. goes out and starts slinging 70-yard passes? Penix chance will start. When you say a day off, I assume like maybe if he misses a game due to injury, that would be interesting to see if Penix would come in and start slinging 70-yard dimes. As odd as it might sound, I might be wrong. We'll know shortly, but I don't even know if Penix is going to be the QB2 on the depth chart to start the season. I think Heineke probably will end up being the QB2 to start the season. I might be wrong, but I'm just guessing that. If it gets to a point, just to answer your scenario, if it gets to a point where Kirk misses the game and Penix comes in playing well, they're still going to stick with Kirk. Now, when Kirk returns, if he's consistently not playing up to par, then that becomes a situation where they may come back to Penix. But I really feel like they're going to try to exhaust all their options with Kirk Cousins, because at the same time, if you give a guy that kind of money, there are some expectations that come with that as well. We spoke about Arthur Blank's money just a moment ago. He's a billionaire, but he's really not in the business of wasting $50 million. And that's a big reason that he is a billionaire, because he is smart with his money. So I really think they're going to exhaust every possible option that they can with Kirk Cousins before they turn to Michael Penix Jr. Dave coming through with the super chat. Appreciate the support, Dave. Thank you very much for the super chat. Dave says, please do not underestimate drafting these 3D linemen and that linebacker. I think we will be really good. Great point. And that's one thing that I've been saying as I've been talking offline with people about this polarizing topic regarding Michael Penix. I got a lot of good friends, good buddies. Hey man, we should address the defense. We should have did this and did that with Penix. I'm like, well, bro, right after the Penix pick, we drafted like 4 or 5 defenders, man. It's not like they ignored the defense. After the Penix pick, they went defense. Drafted a bunch of defenders. And only toward the end of the draft did they go back to the offense. a running back and a wide receiver in the very latter part of the draft. So it's not like they just totally ignored the defense. And it's crazy as it is, man. Dave, as crazy as it is, the defense wasn't the problem last year. The defense wasn't the problem last year. It was the offense. They couldn't put points on the board. The quarterback sucked. It wasn't the defense. When the Falcons finally freed up that salary cap, they spent a bunch of money on defense. A bunch of money. They dropped the bag on defenses and it paid. It paid a good dividends. They went from like the 25th, 26th ranked defense to a top 10 defense the most of last season. They eventually ended the season at number 11, but the defense wasn't the issue last year. It was the offense. And I know as Falcons fans, we are just so accustomed to blaming the defense because it's normally the offense that has carried the team, in the social media era. But the defense wasn't the issue last year. It was actually the offense. But y'all, we're about an hour and 30 minutes, man. I didn't want to be on here too long. I feel like I've exhausted my time, man. This was a great conversation, great conversation. Because this is just something we're gonna, there's varying opinions on this, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So we got a lot of strong opinions on this Michael Penix thing. So we'll probably talk about this, a good bit of the off season until like OTAs and camp and all that start. So we'll try to come on again, and any other discussions y'all want to have around it. Maybe the next time I drop the link, and we'll just have a panel type discussion. But I want to thank everybody for coming through, rapping with your boy, talking with your boy. Thank you for everybody for the super chats. I appreciate all the comments. And I will try to be back sometime this week. We also are working on a Legend series on the channel as well. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Make sure you do vote on the poll. Make sure you do vote on the poll. Make sure you do like the video. That helps this channel out more than you imagine. Follow us on Facebook at Atlanta Bird Gang. The link is in the top pinned on the comment section. Much love. Rise up. Peace.